That has a little bit of everything: a con man, a fake gold mine, and a castle built in the middle of nowhere.
Scotty's castle in Death Valley was shut down 3 years ago after a devastating flood. But as News 3's Denise Rosh explains, there is a plan to bring tourists back to the historic site.
I think it's gorgeous. I think it's dangerous and should be respected, but gorgeous.
It's an experience visitors cannot get enough of. Scorching temperatures in one of the most inhospitable places on Earth.
We're used to like trees and all of that, and then you come out here to California and you're like, whoa.
Death Valley National Park, 3.4 million acres of untamed desert, but one of the absolute favorite spots no longer accessible.
I'm sitting on the remains of Bonnie Claire Road.
The road to Scotty's castle washed away in a powerful flood in October 2015.
That the ground was here. So where you and I are standing, we would have been standing here before the flood.
Abby Wines is a management assistant at the park who says the flood caused nearly $50 million in damage. Roadwork, water systems, and electrical wiped out. Now the rebuild is just getting started.
We have most of the funding that we need, which is wonderful. Pretty hard to find that much funding so quickly. And we've been working on design work the last couple years.
The trick, preserving the castle's 1920s historic integrity. Here you can see how floodwater pushed into the visitor center, the high water mark nearly 4 feet high. One design plan, create a larger doorway so should flooding happen again, dirt and debris won't be trapped behind the small opening. As for the history of the castle, it is pure Old West, beginning with the castle's namesake, Walter Scott.
He was a con man. That sums it up in one word. He claimed to have a secret gold mine out in Death Valley that was going to be worth millions.
Wine says it was one of Scotty's investors and later good friend Albert Johnson who built the castle as a vacation home. By then, he knew the mine was a scam, but fell in love with playing cowboy in the desert.
And Albert Johnson just loved it. So essentially what this became was a big practical joke.
Today, the Spanish-style masterpiece eerily quiet as the Park Service moves to restore and reopen Scotty's Castle by 2020. A long process, but the goal, ensure everything here is done right.
The main house itself was relatively untouched, but what it did lose was heating and AC, meaning all of the artifacts from the curtains to the furniture all had to be removed and preserved off-site.
Back outside, Scotty and his favorite dog are buried on a hill overlooking the property. Like the man's reputation, the road in lies in ruins. But here in Death Valley, roads, at least, can always be fixed. Denise Rosh, News 3.